Hey guys, welcome to Coffee Tech by Isaac. I'm going to run you through a couple of different settings in regards to our San Remo Cafe Racer just here. So this is for those that need to brush up on it if they haven't used one in a while, or if you haven't used one at all, it gives you some information in regards to how to use some of the functions, especially from a barista's perspective. I won't go too much into the technical perspective as of yet. But make sure if you need to see any other videos on other machines, whether they be domestic or commercial, that you post in the comments below. That way I know what you guys are looking for and I can do more videos for you. Okay, so let's get started on this one here. So what I'm going to be covering right now is our espresso machine cleaning as well as the back flushing cycle itself. So in regards to a lot of high-end commercial machines, we will have a back flushing cycle. So that is an automatic cycle where the machine will turn on, allow a group head itself to saturate our blind portafilter, which is this beast here. That's a blind portafilter basket mounted into a single-handled portafilter handle here. Now, in regards to the on-off of our back flush, it will turn on, it'll saturate our chemical typically inside here, then it'll turn off, allowing that chemical to expand a little bit, and then flush through the unit. But that's exactly what it does. It flushes through. It doesn't really clean as such. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use the espresso machine cleaner to its full potential, then use your back flushing cycle, then to flush that chemical through and out, so you're not going to get that in your next coffee. So first things first, I'm going to start with this one here. We have our single portafilter handle and blind portafilter basket, also known as a group handle and group basket as well, if you need to know. Now, in regards to this one here, it's very, very simple. What I like to do is I like to get my chemical ready and good to go. I'm using Cafetto. That's actually made here in South Australia, and it's an amazing product. It is worldwide. You can get it from millions of places. Okay, guys, I'm going to be using this one here. This is the Evo. This is the environmentally friendly version. All right. Now, in regards to using this one here, they do give you this large scoop. The only time I would use this large scoop as such, as a full scoop, is if the machine hasn't been cleaned in a while. If you're cleaning it frequently, you do not need to use a full scoop. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have our blind portafilter basket here. I'm going to press this middle button here. This is our continuous flow button on the Cafe Racer. Right, I'm going to basically allow my blind portafilter basket to fill up. I'm going to lift it up and then I'm going to basically jiggle that from side to side. What this will do is it'll overflow that blind portafilter basket there and flush in and around the outside seal as well as the actual lug mounting under here. Okay, once I've done that, that's flushed any residual granules away. Now what I need to do is I need to get my Cafetto just here, so that espresso machine cleaner, and I'm probably going to use about a half a scoop in this one here. I'm going to load it into the group head here. Right, I'm going to press that middle button again, and I'm going to wait again about 10 to 15 seconds. What this is going to do is it's going to saturate that chemical. It's then going to start to dissolve it. Then when I turn this off, it's going to allow that chemical to then expand, because this chemical foams up. And we actually want that to foam up. We want it to foam up in and behind our shower screen under here. Now, our shower screen is just a piece of mesh that allows a jet of water to hit this mesh and then shower down, much like you would in an actual shower. So that shower screen has lots of little holes as it is a mesh itself. And we want that chemical to expand its way through that shower screen, through that mesh, through the head, and expand and cover as much of the internals as it possibly can. Now, I like to do this for about a minute. I will then activate that middle head again, which is our continuous flow button on this machine here. Wait for that 10 to 15 seconds again, turn it off, and I'll allow it to do it one more time. Now, I typically do this twice. Reason, I want to make sure I'm dissolving all that chemical and then allowing it the most amount of time to expand and soak and strip away any of the buildup of coffee oils through the workday. Now, once I've done this, I'm going to run the second cycle now. That will then make sure that the chemical has done as much work as it possibly can. Okay? Now, if we just run the normal back flushing cycle through the machine, straight away, what we're doing is we're wetting that chemical and then flushing it out straight away. Wetting it and flushing it out. It does clean to a small extent, but doesn't clean thoroughly. So what we want is we want to run this cycle here. So I just call this just a manual 2-minute cleaning cycle. Then after I've done that manual 2-minute cleaning cycle, I will then run the automatic back flushing cycle. And that's exactly what it is, a flushing cycle. It'll flush out any of that chemical buildup and make sure that there's no residue in there. Because if there's residue in there and you ingest the coffee, it's not particularly good for you. Not only does it clean coffee machines out, it'll clean you out too. Toilet, evacuating, yeah, not fun. Okay, so in regards to this here, it's had approximately that 2 minutes now after I've been chatting to you guys, giving you guys some good information there. I'm going to run the back flushing cycle. So the way we run a back flushing cycle on our Cafe Racer just here, we're going to press and hold the middle button and then press our very first button here. Now that first button there can be programmed in a couple of different ways. It has 2 options for each of these outside buttons. Okay, but most of the time it's a double ristretto and then our double espresso. Now what this is going to do is it's going to pressurize the handle. It'll hold that pressure for about that 8-10 seconds. Then it will release that pressure. What that does is it pressurizes, and then when it releases that pressure, we have an exhaust valve that leads to our drain. That it releases all that pressure and carries any of that residual chemical and coffee oils buildup that's been in there. Okay, so it's going to run this cycle 5 times. Now I'll show you once this cycle finishes on what it looks like after it's run 5 times. It does not completely clean out all the chemical. After that first lot, you're going to need to do it again. In fact, you're probably going to need to do this, right? If we can have a little look here, I'm not going to turn it too much because it actually does have some water in there. We've still got some of the chemical in the form of some bubbles, some soapiness just there, okay? So I'm going to tip that out. I'm going to lock that back in again, and I'm going to run that back flushing cycle again. Again, pressing the middle button, then pressing that first button here on our left-hand side. It's going to run that cycle again 5 more times, flushing it out. I'm going to give it a check then, and then I'm actually going to redo that original flush and jiggle that I did in the beginning. Okay, that's when I filled up the handle with water, lifted it up, and then jiggled it from side to side. I'm going to do that because I want to make sure that there's no chemical around the outside of the seal. And then I'm going to run this cycle 1 final time. So this cycle I'm going to run 3 times, so it's going to give it about 15 flushes. I am still going to run a shot of coffee through that before I make the first coffee for a customer to make sure I'm adding in a heap of good fresh oils in there, much like you would cure a wok or something like that. So that way I can make sure that those first coffees I give my customer, we don't have any residual chemical inside. Again, not good for you, but it also gives them all that really, really good flavor from that fresh ground and extracted coffee. But that is our back flushing cycle here. I'll tilt it a bit. Again, I might actually just tilt it all the way. There is no foam in that one. There's just water, guys, okay? There's no foam, no chemical left. So I'm gonna press that middle button. I'm gonna fill it up. We're going to do that little jiggle. You only want to do this quite quickly because if you do it slow, it'll run down the handle onto your fingers, which is not particularly fun. Okay. And we can run that cycle 1 more time. So this is a completed cleaning and back flushing cycle on the San Remo Cafe Racer. Okay. Now this is a really, really good cycle. It's very, very thorough. It's not even written on the back of the actual container itself. Okay. So this is something to take into account. As much as I'm giving you guys advice on how to do the cleaning cycle and all this, I'm going to give it to you guys. Experiment. Find which way you can get the machine being safe, doing the right thing to get the best cleaning out of it that you can. This cycle I've come up with by doing that 2-minute soak cleaning cycle at the beginning and then the flushing cycle afterwards is the best method that I've found. That's simple, it's easy for anyone to do and train. That is the cycle I've come across, and from my experience and my testing this cycle, I've found that I'm able to remove the shower screen, have a look in behind, and it's completely clean. It never has any buildup or anything, and that's not just on the Cafe Racer, but on every machine I've worked on. But if you want to hear more about any kind of cleaning or anything like that, guys, make sure you leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, so that way you can get all the information on an assortment of different coffee machines, whether they're domestic or commercial, come through to you guys and educate you just one little bit at a time. If you want to see any extra information, let me know, but I will be releasing more videos in regards to the San Remo Cafe Racer, including a little look on the inside. And that look on the inside there, guys, will just give you an idea of how they're laid out and some of the different components that I'll run through, okay? But until next time, see you guys.